Hey, what is up guys? It's Galaxytech Darklord here, coming to you guys today with a special deck profile. So 1,000 subscribers finally, so I'm going to profile one of my favourite decks, trying to revive it, well, keep it alive at least. So it's Infernity's, but it's got Clown Blade engine in it. It's not a definitive version yet, but it's pretty fun to play. So yeah, I'll get straight into it. So without Revival Chain, the deck is quite slow, but doesn't mean can't make some nice plays. So yeah, for Infernity's, playing one copy of Infernity Archfiend, since that's all we can play, and also playing 2 copies of Necromancer, because you want to get stuff back from the graveyard. And I'm not actually playing the Synchro engine because I tried it, but the Synchro engine is quite slow, and I actually much prefer the Xyz variant of Infernity's in terms of speed. So that's all the Infernities we're playing. So also playing to get the engine moving, two copies of Stygian Street Patrol. 3 because we've only got these are the only real targets we want. I mean, you've got Archfiend Heiress as well, but you don't really want to summon it with that. And because we haven't got Revival Chain, there's very limited ways of getting this into the graveyard properly, so in the right way. So 3 is definitely out of the question. I'd actually put it down to 1 because in some ways, because we only get 1. So yeah, 2 copies of Dark Grepher because we want you need this card to get stuff into the graveyard. Just move those into the camera. 1 Summoner Monk because there's not space in here for 2, but I think 2 is a bit cloggy at the moment. 1 Armageddon Knight because yet again you want to get stuff in your graveyard, but you might not all the time. Well, sometimes you might not necessarily have stuff in your hand to discard. Just move keys. And lastly, for the Infernity stuff, well, the Infernity engines. 1 copy of Archfiend Heiress because you want to search out Archfiend sometimes. So yeah. So then for Clown Blade stuff, I'm playing 2 copies of Mathematician. This card's questionable at this point, but it's an extra engine for to replace Revival Chain, and it's working okay at the moment, considering you can also put other stuff in the graveyard as well. So yeah, 2 copies of Performage Damage Juggler. I'm actually considering cutting it down to 1 because it can get a bit cloggy sometimes, but 2 is fine at the moment. Its hand trap ability can be quite helpful sometimes, and the fact it's a level 4 mate helps with your plays and searching out. With this, I actually mainly search out Hat Tricker because it's really useful. It's like it's a searchable Dinotherium almost. So yeah, then bring me on to Hat Trickers. I'm just playing 2 of those because it's like a searchable Dinotherium almost. And also I'm playing 1 copy of Trick Clown because 3 is out of the question. 2 is more than questionable, I'd say. So yeah, 1's testing out quite fine. And then lastly for the monsters, I'm playing 1 copy of 1,000 Blades because that's all we really need. So yeah, that's the monsters. Then for the spells, I haven't ordered these yet. For the spells, 1 Infernity Launcher, of course, because this is Infernity's. Because we've got 1 Archfiend, the plays you can make with this are very limited, but it still adds a nice element to the deck. I wish they'd bring it back actually. I wish they'd bring this card back to more if they're going to keep Archfiend at 1 because it would give Infernities more speed. So then Launcher point 2, we've got Soul Charge. You don't need to ask why for this. You can really spam the board with some nice stuff. 1 Foolish, because we want stuff in the graveyard. 1 Book and 1 Raigeki because these are just your some staple one-offs. Then for the 2 of cards, I'm playing 2 copies of Forbidden Lance, because we want our plays to go off, and the plays we can make are very fragile at the moment. So yeah, with 1 launcher and all. Then playing 2 copies of Forbidden Chalice, because it can help us get over cards and it can stop your opponent's plays going off, and it's a spell card, so summon a monk if you don't need it at all. Then playing 2 copies of Reinforcement of the Army to search out your you can search out Thousand Blades with this, but mainly I search out Dark Grepher or Armageddon Knight. And then for 3 elves, I'm playing 3 copies of Instant Fusion, because Norden, we've got Norden, really helps extend the plays. And 3 copies of Upstart, because with these cards we've got effectively a 37 card deck. So yeah. And then for the traps, I'm actually not playing that many traps at the moment. I would play more, but there's just no space. So yeah, some generic traps might help actually, to be honest. Then I'm playing 1 copy of Infernity Barrier, because that's all we can play, yet again, just like Launcher and Archfiend. Then I'm playing 2 copies of Infernity Break, because this card is just incredible. When you've used your Barrier or your Launcher, and you can use this to interrupt your opponent's turn, which is what I usually do, or you can MST their field at the end of the turn, of their turn, to get rid of whatever they've just put on the board. And for the sake of consistency, I've been forced to play 2 copies of Infernity Inferno, because you really need, like, if you don't have Armageddon Knight and you don't have Dark Grepher and there's stuff in your hand that you just cannot afford to have in your hand, this is really good, because it gets them out of your hand and then it puts stuff in some Infernity stuff in the graveyard. So, i.e. Necromancers and Archfiend, so that you can just bring them back with the Launcher. Because of the limited amount of Infernity stuff, I might actually cut this down to 1 in the next variant, but that's a different profile. That will be a different story. So yeah, that's all the traps I play at the moment. Then for extras, this is basically just generic Xyz monsters and Nordens. So yeah, I'm playing 1 copy of Abyss Dweller, because BA, Burning Abyss. Also playing 1 Castell, 1 Diamond Direwolf, because this is still integral to your plays to clear out your field and either your or your opponent's field. So yeah, 1 Exton, 1 Cowboy, Future Hope, Utopic Future, should I say, is still quite integral to your plays as well. In the same way as Diamond Direwolf, you can clear your field by reducing the amount of cards on it. 1 Key Beetle. This is the card I probably make the most, because it can just keep your cards safe really easily. Also playing 1 copy of Rhapsody and Berserk, and lastly I'm playing 1 copy of Deltaros. So in this build, I was considering playing Bujinki Amaterasu, but at the last minute I thought I'd rather play Deltaros, because Amaterasu is just not as aggressive in terms of field clearance, whereas Deltaros is. So yeah, and also because we're also playing 1 copy of Ptolemaeus, so if you can only make this with 2 cards during the end phase, you can attach Deltaros to it, which is quite nice. So yeah, then I'm playing 2 rank 5s in the form of 1 Pleiades and 1 Constellar Diamond, because we've got Ptolemaeus. So I generally make Pleiades, but this is really useful in the Shadol lineup. So yeah, and then I'm playing 1 rank 3 in the form of Levia the Sea Dragon, because we can make it and it's really useful. Then finally I'm playing 2 copies of Norden, should I say, just because it can extend your plays so nicely, breaking the meta and whatnot. So yeah, that is all I have on this at the moment. As I said, this is by no means a complete deck. It's still very much in testing, but I shall try to bring you guys more updates for it in the future. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later.